clear reasons for foreign currency shortage. PM says no more outstanding payments under UBS loan. And lays Malahang urban clinic closed after criminal attack.
This is National EMTV News with Marilyn Diao-Katam.
Good evening and thanks for joining me for Wednesday's news. The foreign exchange levels remain low, but the government is looking for funding through the Asian Development Bank and the World Bank, says Prime Minister Peter O'Neill. He was responding to East Sepik Governor Allen Bedd's question on businesses being affected by the low foreign currency level in the country.
The East Sepik governor questioned the Prime Minister on the state of the available foreign currency, as several businesses are facing problems.
I have received calls from 5 companies. One of them has been operating in Papua New Guinea for 40 years. It operates out of Leh, Morobe province, employs 230 Papua New Guineans, and they have not been able to access Forex. So only cut him down. Work day blow workman, only release him all workman. They have 16 million kina in the bank. They need to pay their foreign suppliers 12 million kina. I am told that there is 3 billion kina in orders sitting there at all the banks.
The governor went on to question the LNG shipment and the foreign exchange it should be bringing into the country.
LNG project is I ship him 1 plus ship every 3 days. Now 1 plus ship, all is I pay MIPLA 50 million US dollars. That's a total of $9 billion a year. Now, Mr. Speaker, you may talk planting a good policy blow government law SME. Now, I want to know, because we have never had this problem of foreign currency shortage. And I want to know when, and I think all our small businesses want to know, when is this going to be resolved? And second, who side through and walk long em lo fix him this foreign currency shortage.
The Prime Minister responded, stating that it was the Bank of Papua New Guinea's responsibility to monitor foreign exchange.
This issue about foreign exchange is a monetary matter. It's managed by the central bank. It's not managed by Treasury or government on foreign exchange issues. But Mr. Speaker, you know, governments in the past have allowed, when we have project management agreements, especially when it's referring to the LNG exports, and I agree entirely with him, Mr. Speaker, is that they've allowed exporters and project proponents, developers, to park all these revenues overseas.
Mr. O'Neill went on to explain that developer companies were parking their foreign currencies overseas and not in PNG, resulting in a shortfall.
Because agreements have been designed very unfairly for Papua New Guinea, Mr. Speaker. There have been, of course, smart economists who in the past always thought that the fear of the Dutch, this is what they call the Dutch, this is where there's too much foreign currency in the economy. As a result of that, they've been parking all these monies elsewhere. So, Mr. Speaker, we are trying to unwind it. Talking with some of the developers and project developers that, listen, they must bring foreign currency that is rightfully Papua New Guineans back into the country.
He then went on to say the government has talked to ADB and World Bank for help.
With our development partners, we're getting support from ADB and the World Bank in order to meet the immediate shortage of the foreign currency very soon. Those negotiations have been finalized, and the payments, the facilities will be made available very soon to PNG, so for us to make that. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Adelaide Sirax Kari, National EMTV News.
There was heated debate in Parliament this morning over the use of PNG Sustainable Development Programme funds, following questions raised by Western Governor Taboy Awiyoto on the government's plans for the province. The debate began with the operation of Oktedi and later spilled over to arguments on PNG SDP between the Prime Minister and Mosby Northwest MP Semekere Morata.
The Western governor directed his questions to the Prime Minister after he said his people have been neglected to a point where they do not recognize the PNG Kina.
The people along the border do not know what a Kina looks like.
The Prime Minister responded by saying the government has not ignored Western Province. Rather, it has been putting in revenue through OTML dividends.
As a result of that, you have now so far received 100 million kina in dividends, Mr. Speaker. 100 million kina in dividends. First time. First time.
But when the Prime Minister mentioned long-term funds belonging to Western Province, Semekere made a point of order.
The program rules and the memorandum of articles of association of SDP says that the long-term fund can only be released after mine closure.
The Prime Minister then responded and mentioned a report made to recommend the shutting down of Oktedi mine. That did not go down well with the former Prime Minister.
They spent close to over $300 million in trying to do a mine study for mine life extension.
The point is this. Shut up. You don't know about PNSTP, so you shut up. And he doesn't know either. My point of order is that the money spent by SDP improving new ore for the Oktedi mine to continue is not a waste. It's not a waste as he's telling us. He's telling lies.
The Prime Minister then went back on point by answering the Governor's question on the input of the national government in Western Province.
Out of the revenues that it receives and the dividends that it receives from Oktedi, its share has been redistributed to meeting the non-CMCA and CMCA communities within the Western Province. In reality, it is the national government funds that have been reallocated, Mr. Speaker.
Stanley Over Jr., National EMTV News.
The Works Ministry has secured 30 million kina from the Australian aid to complete the sealing of the Boluminski Highway in KVN. Minister Michael Nally announced this after Madang Governor Peter Yama questioned the road upgrades in Madang.
The question by Madang Governor was on specific roads in Madang Province. He wanted the Works Minister to confirm if contracts were already awarded to contractors and when roadworks are expected to start.
Problem Blomibla Speaker Emolsen, please. One time through Minister, mi amamas lo igolong namatana na you look in my schedules na long fixing road long New Island when the Prime Minister. One time by you fixing road long potholes below Madang because Madang variation after variation, contract after contract, this the same whole road below Madang emi bagara sabiat.
In response, Minister Nally said roads in Madang have been left to deteriorate like most other roads in the country, and the Works Ministry has started assessing national roads which would need either construction or maintenance.
Me like talk Savalo you also Madang contract has already been awarded. Department of Works by making sure that cash is made available for the contractor to start on the Madang roads. So question below you is answered.
Minister Nally also explained that over 47 million kina was secured for the sealing of the remaining 30-kilometer section of the Boluminski Highway.
Now you talk long Boluminski Highway, straight after the visit, Australian also said me come good. Me allocate him 30 million last week. And I got another 17.5 million on all performance. So New Island makes him good report. He's in the West Civic too, Governor. You got money stuff inside the program.
Since taking up the portfolio, Minister Nally has visited the East and West New Britain and the Boluminski highways. He is also planning on visiting the East and West Sepik Highway, the Highlands Highway and the Leh Madang Highway. Those visits are aimed at ensuring government-funded road projects are completed on time and constructed up to expectations. Thekla Gunga, National EMTV News.
Prime Minister Peter O'Neill has revealed that there are no more outstanding payments to the Universal Bank of Switzerland loan after the sale of 31.3 million shares in Oil Search. He also went on to say that almost 120 million kina will be paid to the state through Kumu Petroleum Holdings Limited as residual value. The Prime Minister made this known after the member of Sinesine Yongomo, Kirangakua, asked a series of questions regarding the issue.
Mr. Speaker, is that they've allowed exporters...
It's an issue Prime Minister Peter O'Neill has been explaining since the House returned yesterday. The sales of the 31.3 billion shares the government had in Oil Search.
Mr. Speaker, number one, will the proceeds of the sale of the Oil Search share go to paying up the outstanding UBS loan? Number one. Number two, if that's so, and after that has been done, how much of the loan is left? As distinct from royalty and levies, equity benefits, when will they put their fingers on that money which is rightfully theirs? Or are all the duly elected members who are all seated on that side want to continue to suppress the rights of these people in these 5 important impacted provinces from getting their rightful benefits?
The Prime Minister says there was no more outstanding payments under the UBS loan.
UBS loan, as we sold all our shares, UBS loan is now zero balance. There's no further obligations on part of the state or even KPH. There is the proceeds of the sale of the shares have completely paid off all the UBS loans, all the interest that is outstanding.
He also went on to add that almost 120 million kina in residual value will be paid to the state.
Mr. Speaker, there is, as I said yesterday, there is a balance of residual value that is now going to be paid to the state, well over 100 million, possibly close to 120 million kina. That will come to the state through KPH and, of course, will go to consolidated revenues.
Mr. O'Neill went on to answer the question on the equity benefit yet to be paid to landowners.
The question was about equity benefits, and he hasn't answered that. He's talking about the benefits paid for the royalty entitlements. There's no question about that. But when will they access their equity entitlements?
If we do not know the actual landowners, who do we pay the benefits to? So equity is the same issues that the levies and all the other royalties, they're still parked at trust account. Until we identify the proper landowners, we will pay them. As simple as that.
Adelaide Xerox Kari, National EMTV News.
A special economic zone will be set up for the Manus province to encourage economic growth, says National Planning Minister Richard Maro. This comes after the expected closure of the Asylum Seeker Processing Center. Manus Governor Charlie Benjamin says 1,200 jobs will be lost.
1,200 jobs will be lost and small to medium enterprises are expected to close after the Manus Asylum Seeker Center shuts down. Governor Benjamin expressed his concern in Parliament today, asking the governments on what their plan was for the Manus economy.
Time this black camp by close, about 1,200 workmen, Mary, we only work now by finish all of a sudden. All SMEs lo Manus will only benefit by all of a sudden by stop. Toksabe lo province, the companies lo government lo last year yet. When I pull back, when I look sabe lo gaman lo try lo slow him down this plakain look sabe time this plakain employment passing lo money stop all of a sudden lo province.
The question was directed to National Planning Minister Richard Maro, and he had a shocking response on how much Manus would be affected by the closure.
Na milagin for me mo people of Manus na this nation of them. Internal revenue of Manus by drop from 25 million annually by around 1.5 million. By people are losing 1,200 jobs as a result of that. Hundreds of SMEs basically go out of business. because it may fail long. Come up with a plan of building economy manus over a very, very long period of time.
But Maru reassured the Manus governor that the government does have plans on bringing the Manus economy up.
People are now by government, by what the government below you and your administration, lo setting up one special economic zone lo Manus. People by putting money in the budget next year. It may look now lo stadium of Marine Park inside the west coast of Manus. The township will call him Drauke. Now also by putting money in the stadium nursery, lo planning 40,000 rubber trees inside lo Manus. The area which has been completely locked out by Sil Manus, na rimbunan heja. Only logging finish na nugat wambla, replanting or nugat business on the ground.
Minister Maru went on to state that Manus has the biggest reserve of tuna in its waters.
Because the whole country knows the waters of Manus has the largest quantity of tuna stocks in this country. And true fact. So we need to put a fish processing plant, 1 or 2 or 3 lo Manus na helping Manus now to build the economy. Suppose you know what? I don't know how by Manus province can survive with the internal revenue of only 1.5 million ISO.
Adelaide Siraks Kari, National, EMTV News.
6 refugees who were processed at the Regional Asylum Processing Center in Manus will be relocated to the United States of America. They are expected to travel to the U.S. as genuine refugees by the end of this week. This comes as the center is expected to close following a Supreme Court order. Reports from the center confirm that 4 departed Manus yesterday and the other 2 are in Port Moresby. This is believed to be one of the first resettlement for the refugees. Meanwhile, the PNG and Australian government are still negotiating the date of the closure of the center. Among stories after the break, Malahang Clinic shut down due to continuous break and enter and calls for renovations to Medang's rundown police station. Welcome back. A man has died after a heavy vehicle reportedly reversed over him in a shipping yard in Lae. The accident happened just after midday today. One eyewitness said one part of the man was crushed in the accident. Police and ambulance officers were called to the scene. Clients were turned away as police attended to the accident. EMTV was unable to obtain any details of the death due to security restrictions. An assessment report by UNDP has revealed that Medang province is at high risk of natural disasters. UNDP's project manager for disaster risk management, Michael Semberenemo, said the province's seismic, tsunami, volcanic eruptions and flood hazards are very high in comparison to other provinces. Medang is home to an active volcano, Manam, which last erupted in 2004. It is one of 5 provinces or regions featured in a disaster risk assessment project. Because of this, Medang provincial authorities underwent a workshop with disaster reduction specialists to increase awareness among communities on how to plan for disasters. The police in Lae will increase its surveillance over the Vocal Point area, including the Hilma Wong Park, after the opening of the reconstructed police station. The Chief Metropolitan Superintendent for Lae, Anthony Wagambi Jr., said police would be on alert to prevent crimes from happening in the area. Lae's acting city manager and Lae District Administrator Robin Calastes said a local group from the area will help the police to take care of the area after the signing of a MOU.
This is Hilma Wong Park, located at Vocal Point, one of the areas in Lae known for crimes. Lae's residents come here, especially on weekends, for picnic and relaxation. The safety and security for people visiting this park has become a great concern to the district and the police department. The acting city manager and district administrator for Lae, Robin Callisto, said a local group from Morobe would assist the police in securing the place.
City Council has signed an MOU with Butipan people. They're giving the Hilma Wong Park to look after the Hilma Wong Park, keep it clean, keep it safe for the general public.
This area was well used by the local communities over the past years. Lae's residents like Hilma Wong and his family spend most of their free time here. But that quickly changed over time and became unsafe for people to use because of crimes such as theft and murder taking place in the area. With the newly reconstructed Vocal Point police post, funded by Wong Tim and Company, the owner Ilma Wong, who also constructed this recreational park, called on the public to use it with respect.
So hopefully that in the next, probably by Christmas, the lights will be replaced and everything.
The focus of the signing of the MOU between Lae City Council and the Butiban people is to improve community policing. The district administrator said this would allow police and community residents to work closely together with new ways to solve the problems of crime and physical and social disorders.
We're not allowing people to do business here at Vocal Point. Everything will be done at the places where the business are done now. People will get their produce all the way from the rural districts or LLGs. They'll come and go to the appropriate places for doing markets.
Julie Badui Owa, National EMTV News, Lae.
The Lae District Administration has made a decision to close the Malahang Urban Clinic after criminals broke in and stole more than 1,000 kina worth of anti-malarial and antibiotic drugs. This is the third time this year the clinic has been hit. Officer in charge Sister Daisy Bassa told EMTV that she was disappointed following the break-in and that staff morale is very low after the attack.
The break-in happened on Monday morning. This is where the thieves broke in through the window of the patient's washroom. What has upset the staff most is the theft of anti-malarial and antibiotic drugs from the clinic's dispensary, costing more than 1,000 kina. These drugs are expected to end up on the streets where they will be sold.
I give him service here, just to help the sick and the poor ones. And it's like I know targeting me, I can't make him.
This is the third time this year the clinic has been broken into. In May, the clinic's solar panel was stolen. Just last month, in another break-in, thieves stole cash. This break-in was the worst.
Until and when we have the culprits in Olendi the
Malahang clinic serves a population of more than 30,000 people who are now being referred to other clinics for treatment.
Meanwhile,
Lae Police Boss Anthony Wagambi says this is an unfortunate incident. He said services like these should be protected by the community. He is also calling on members of the community to assist in handing over the suspects to the police. Lucy Kopana, National EMTV News, Lae.
And now looking at our finance news, the kina closed unchanged at $0.3125 in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, your kina was buying $0.3050 $0.3827 Australian dollars, €0.2547 euro, and 33.87 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, coffee closed higher while gold is trading lower. Coffee and cocoa closed the day lower. Palm oil closed higher, crude oil is trading higher while copper closed the day lower. And in the stock market, the Dow Jones closed at 11.77 points lower, the ASX closed at 6.68 points lower, and the All Ordinaries closed at 4.11 points lower. National EMTV News continues after this break. Don't go away. Welcome back to the news. New Guinea will be switching over to a new passenger service system, Starburst Sonic, this Saturday, the 30th of September 2017. This process will commence at 3 a.m. and will be completed on the same day at 9 p.m. local time. New Guinea's General Manager Commercials, Dominic Camu, says the system will affect reservations and bookings, as well as the website, and bookings through travel agents will not be available.
New Guinea passengers wanting to book flights this Saturday are urged to do so between today and Friday before the current passenger service system goes off at 3 a.m. on Saturday. The system shutdown will be to make way for the new passenger service system, Sabre Sonic, to take effect on Sunday. But it is business as usual this Saturday, as passengers travelling on the day are required by Air New Guinea to check in 3 hours early for domestic flights and 4 hours for international.
The flights will still operate
It's our reservation ticketing that will not be available during those time. And what have we done? We've moved into a passenger services system. It's a new system that gives us the capability to do a number of things. The company has invested heavily in that project. The investment is to give us the opportunity to be able to improve and better deliver our services to our customers.
Project Team Manager Pranil Nand says getting the system transferred from Ekata to Sabersonic took the team about 9 months to complete.
Customers that want a flexi fare, they can choose a flexi fare, not necessarily a non-refundable fare that they might not be able to travel on. So those are some of the things. For example, seat sale on the website, for example. That's one that we'll be issuing with Sabre. That capability, though, was not existing on the current system, that'll be obviously there on the new Sabre system.
Kamu says the new system brings about a new level of customer service both nationally and internationally for Air Niugini customers who will, unlike the old service, book only tickets online but also be able to book hotels, use new reservation system and Royal Destination program together with other online services, all this at the touch of a button.
But once we cut over, by this weekend, moving forward for next week and onwards, you'll be able to go into our website and see a range of fares that's available. So that's an improvement in terms of what we do. It will also give us a capability and improvements in terms of how we deliver our service at our sales offices. You'll be able to buy hotels, insurance, a lot of other ancillary revenue that's connected with travel.
Manager Commercial Systems Mari Logona says the system is used all over the world.
Comparing the new system against the old system, I think there's going to be a lot of improvements, and especially for our passengers and our customers.
Godwin Eki, National EMTV News.
The Miss Pacific Islands pageant is back again this year with a set of young, vibrant contestants. Yesterday, the pageant announced 2 new contestants, Miss International Training Institute and Miss Queen Emma Chocolates. The Miss Pacific Islands pageant is more than a beauty contest. It is a platform to empower young women to become leaders and cultural ambassadors for the country. The Miss Pacific Islands pageant PNG is in its 7th year running. Yesterday, the pageant announced its Miss International Training Institute. She is Shileyama from a mixed parentage of Western Highlands, Morobe and Oro Province. Sheila has a bachelor's degree in nursing and is a full-time nurse at the Port Moresby General Hospital Surgical Department. If this young face looks familiar, it's because she is also the current PNG World Supermodel. But that is not all this young woman has to offer.
I've seen a lot of struggling people, so I think being a part of this pageant will, at least I can be a mouthpiece to talk on behalf of people who don't have the opportunity and means to come out.
Meanwhile, the second contestant announced yesterday also has a background in health. Miss Queen Emma Chocolates is 23-year-old Niawali Twain from a mixed parentage of Manus and West New Britain. Miss Twain has just completed her residency as a medical laboratory technician at PomGen. She describes this as an opportunity to prove that a person's background should not stop them from striving to become successful.
I look back and I thought, had someone stood out and told me that there was a life out there, and if I had put in so much effort, I would have been someplace else. But again, I do not look at my past with regret. I take it as a stepping stone to move forward. And so coming out here, I'd like to be that icon where young people could look up to, that despite your family problems, despite financial problems with not being able to pay for your school fees or whatever it is, no matter where you come from.
This year, the pageant has engaged local designers to be a part of the contest with a designer assigned for each contestant. Miss ITI is under designer Genevieve Igora from Wanto Clothing, while Miss Queen Emma Chocolates will be dressed by Tatiana Copeland. National EMTV News continues after this break. Don't go away.
Tukai Sports.
Welcome to Tukai Sports. The Osage Trophy Tour continued their journey as they made their way to Rabaul town. The trophy has taken on a convoy around the town before leaving to Gazelle district.
The trophy arrived in East New Britain on Tuesday, escorted by Oil Search General Manager stakeholders Leon Baskins, Executive General Manager Gera Aupi, and SPPNG Hunters coach Michael Marum. Yesterday, the trophy toured Kokopo town before receiving a traditional Tolai welcome at Kurakakaul.
Hey! Ha! Ha! Hey! Ha! Ha! Hey! Ha! Ha! Hey! Ha! Ha! Hey!
The trophy was later taken to the Rapindik Hot Springs in Rabaul. The trophy was decorated with tabu shell money and taken to the Rabaul Observatory lookout. The trophy then toured Rabaul town before making their way down to Vunakanau in the Gazelle district. Tumbuan dancers and elders of Vunakanau walked out to receive the trophy. The trophy was then handed over to the elders of the area and was carried into Vunakanau Secondary School.
Okay, kiss him.
A warlapang ceremony of the Tumbuans was held in front of the trophy. Tumbuans danced to welcome the trophy into the area. Oil Search General Manager Stakeholder Engagement Leon Baskins thanked the people of Vunakanau.
World Rugby League World Cup game, 22 countries that play game. First time lo history play game, and you want to play cup say me walking so. Me like thank you to lo play. Mighty man lo me all
As the SPPNG Hunters prepare for the big clash against the Penrith Panthers this weekend, the people of Gazelle District wish them the best. After being decorated by Tabu and receiving blessings from the people of East New Britain, the Oil Search Trophy Tour continues to Lihir Island. Elijah Levet, National, EMTV Sports.
Following the success of the PNG Hunters on and off the field, Prime Minister Peter O'Neill said the case has been strengthened for a Papua New Guinean team to enter the National Rugby League competition. In a statement, the Prime Minister stated that entering a competition at a high level will require administrative organization to manage the team and logistics, and we have demonstrated that we have the capability. He said with the bid for NRL comes the support, and he urged supporters in Australia to get behind PNG. O'Neill says future meetings with PNG officials and NRL will be organized to ensure that future discussions for bid into the NRL takes place. To basketball, the 2017 FIBA Basketball Melanesia Cup commenced today with the women's matches. Solomon Islands took on New Caledonia in a thrilling contest. Solomon Islands proved to be better side with convincing 59-53 win over New Caledonia.
Solomon Islands got off to a flying start at the Taurama Indoor Aquatic Center with much pace and shooting more hoops than New Caledonia. The ladies in green and white took control in the first and second quarter of the game, with comfortable lead leaving the New Caledonia side frustrated. However, the Francophone nation settled their nerves in the third and fourth quarter of the game with a valiant comeback to narrow the margin at full time by 53 to 59 in favor of Solomon Islands.
Look at the celebrations by Solomon.
Shane Saroya, National EMTV Sports.
Still on women's basketball, PNG took on Fiji in an intense match as both teams raced off from the start. Fiji chased PNG on the scoreboard in the first and second quarter when PNG created a gap at the end of the second quarter, 32 to 19. In the third quarter, Fiji narrowed the gap to 16 points behind PNG, 51-35. In the fourth quarter, PNG surged behind and finally winning 63 to Fiji 53. MTV's live coverage of the FIBA Melanesian Cup will continue tonight with two men's matches. First up, PNG versus Solomon Islands, followed by Fiji versus New Caledonia. Both games will be televised live following Women's World That's after the news. Trukai Sports continues after the break. Stay with us.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome back to Trukai Sports. Prime Minister and Sports Minister Peter O'Neill confirmed that the 7 PNG games will go ahead as planned with no more delays. Following questions in Parliament yesterday from West New Britain Governor Sasindran Mutavel, Mr. O'Neill said the government will subsidize travel fares for provinces taking part in the major grassroots sporting event.
The Prime Minister was responding to questions raised this afternoon in Parliament by West New Britain Governor Sasindran Mutavel.
The game has been already postponed twice, and now this game has to happen in November this year, 2017. Mr. Speaker, this is a national event. West New Britain as a province, we only agreed to host the games.
The governor says since taking on the responsibility, it has put enormous stress on the province and wants the government to assist by subsidizing transport costs.
And in fact, we spent over 20 million kina in terms of building various educational infrastructures for the visiting teams to stay in terms of accommodation. Mr. Speaker, my question is, can the government, Prime Minister being a sports minister now, can he confirm that these PNG games will go on? And can the Prime Minister also confirm whether the government can give some form of transport subsidy so that all the other provinces, the players can travel to West New Britain?
The Prime Minister in response said the government will subsidize and there will be no more delays.
And I can assure the good governor that government will provide some subsidy for airfare travel for athletes who are going to the games. But we request that let us please limit the numbers so that we can try and transport everybody to the games as much as possible.
However, he made some recommendations, saying provinces must be given ample time in preparing for the games.
Mr. Speaker, in future we need to also look at the way the selection of the host of the games will have to take place, because it's putting unnecessary burden on the budgets of the provincial governments. So we need to delay rather than do it on an annual basis. We may have to do it on biannual or every 3 years or so that there's a breathing space between games, so that the funding arrangements that are needed to host these games are in place before we allocate to the provinces.
Stanley Oved Jr., National EMTV Sports.
That's a wrap on Trukai Sports. I'll be back shortly with your weather details for the next 24 hours.
Trukai Sports. Trukai Sports.
The weather details are proudly brought to you by Dulux Weather Shield. Worth doing with Dulux. The weather details are proudly brought to you by Dulux Weather Shield, with doing with Dulux. The weather details are proudly brought to you by Dulux Weather Shield, with doing with Dulux.
And now looking at the weather forecast for tonight and tomorrow. In the southern region, Port Moresby cloudy with a shower or two, mostly fine and partly cloudy for Daru, Alatau and Kerema, and rain showers in Popondetta. In the Mamasa region, rain showers in Ley, a shower or two in Medang, and few rain showers in Wewak and Vanimo. In the New Guinea Islands, some rain showers for Lorengau and Kimbe, thundery rain showers for Kavian, Kokopo and Rabaul, and few rain showers for Buka. And in the Highlands, all centers a shower or two, then morning fog.
The weather details are proudly brought to you by Dulux Weather Shield, with doing with Dulux.
That's a news, sports and weather this Wednesday, 27 September 2017. From the entire MTV News team, I'm Marilyn Diakotama. Pleasant viewing. Good night.